Alright, since I got some time this morning, let's go up and use the flail head mower in the back where I'm clearing an area for a possible shop. It'll probably just save me some time from taking brush to the dump. And I got it, so let's use it. It's still a mess back here. I haven't moved anything, so I'll have to work around it with this machine right now. But what I'll do is I'm just going to grind a lot of these small hemlock trees and other small branches and stuff I can get to. And then the rest of the stuff I can load out. Alright, so that was pretty effective. That was about an hour and a half of just mulching down the hemlocks and random stuff on the ground. That'll certainly save me probably two trips to the dump, since I won't have to bring all those branches and tree stalks. So my plan is to probably, put a building over in this spot, somewhere over here. Leave these hemlocks and overgrowth here so it kind of blocks from the street. And then over this side, clear out a couple of these pine trees that are leaning and make a little spot for trailer parking or what have you. So that would give me plenty of space to store stuff, both inside and outside. All right, I got some more time the next day, so I just tossed the bucket back on this, and I'm gonna try and get rid of, or at least organize those logs up there. And maybe while I have this bigger machine, push down some of these larger trees here, and maybe use the mulcher to just mulch up the tops while I got it. So, and this bucket I have, this is the bucket for my E26. It looks really silly on this machine because it's not the right size for this machine, so the thumb doesn't quite match it and everything, but it works for what I'm doing. Well, that'll do it for this camera stand. When I was pushing in that last bit of the pile there, a branch went out and caught the leg and absolutely bent it and snapped it right off. So I guess I'll just use the camera stand like this for now and order a new one. So that pretty much gets everything organized and off to the edge of the property line over here. So I think for sure I'm gonna have to take down the 2 pine trees that are right in front of me, just because one of them's leaning, actually 2 of them are leaning, and this third one's just a really small twig. So basically it's this cluster of 3 of them. It's this one right here, and then that one, and then this one for sure. And these other hardwoods, I You know, I like to keep all the hardwoods if I can because they give good coverage, good foliage. I just don't know where I'm putting like the structure or anything like that yet, so I don't want to go ahead and take down everything, but I would prefer to take down the stuff that's already, you know, leaning and gonna be a hazard regardless. So But man, you can really see how rotted almost every single tree was that I took down. There was only one tree that I even could get, you know, logs out of to put down in that pile. You know, every one of them was starting to center rot here, and they wouldn't have been doing too well. I think only one of them was really held in decently enough that it took more than 2 scoops aside. So since I have a pretty steep entrance up here and it's pretty high over there, I was going to kind of see if I could maybe carve some of that lump out. I know I'm going to hit ledge, but I want to see if I can at least reduce that hillside here. Alright, so I'm back up here a couple weeks later using the E26 again, and I have a couple more trees I want to take down because realistically they're going to be in the way, and I've cut so much away that they're not going to be too strong. While I was up here last time, and I think I saw this years ago when I bought the house, but totally forgot about it. It looks like there's a marker pole back here that's like a property line. So you can see this metal pole right here. It has this pole with a metal sleeve, and it's pretty much right in line with these piles I made, which goes right down to that rock wall on the left side of my right side of my property. And looking at GIS, that lines up right with that line. So any building I do has to be, you know, about 30 feet off that line, which is somewhere around this tree. So I'm hoping I can kind of squeeze the building in, you know, backside here, and then come out about 20-25 feet this way. Kind of puts me where the excavator is, front being here, you know, turned or whatever. And then over on this side is where I wanted to put trailers. So I have from that post over there 150 feet across. So that goes from around this tree or whatever another 60 feet that way. Pretty much intercepts, I think, almost with where the power lines start back there. So I definitely have enough space, but my plan is to drop this tree. That tree right there is actually broken halfway up, and then push that other one over, and then that'll give me this kind of area right here to clean up, and then, you know, put trailers in going backwards, and give me some obfuscation from the street. What you got, buddy? What is that? Oh. Alright, so as we can see here, I got some time this weekend to just take care of cleaning up this side over here and all of the logs that I ended up cutting down. I had a guy from a sawmill come take them with a truck, and man, it was hard to find somebody to come just take the logs for free. Everybody wanted me to pay them to come take the logs that they were going to mill into lumber, and so I ended up posting them on Facebook like most everything else I've done, and within an hour I had a guy that wanted to just come out next day and grab them, so I'm just going to do that from now on. Unfortunately, on the day that I was finishing up cleaning up all this side there and cutting down a few more trees, I wasn't able to film just because I was running back and forth between the brush dump and everything, so it's tight scheduling. But so up on the left side here, I got out the last couple pine trees, including that broken one, and this opens up this area to be able to put trailers into. I just have to level it out and clean up the top so I can actually drive over it. The other day when I was up here clearing out this spot for the trailers, I had not seen a huge hump that was here, and it actually turned out to be a bunch of rocks. So I ended up pulling out a bunch more large rocks that I might use for retaining if I cut down this bank some more up here. And then on the right side here, I pushed back all of the stumps and took out the brush pile on the left, bar a few items, and then all of the logs over here are basically firewood logs because all of them are either too small for milling or are the rotted logs. Just complete center rot on these, so these are ones that someone may want to cut up and split, and then the other logs in the back are just the standing dead trees that I cut up. So I did have one guy come out and I loaded him up with a couple logs in his half-ton truck and trailer for firewood, and he said he would come back next weekend to grab some more. So I'm just going to put these up and see if anybody wants to take them, because it's going to save me money from having to bring them to waste disposal one way or another, because even the places that recycle them cost money to bring in trailer loads. So I basically only want to pay to get rid of the stumps, because that's the only thing that's going to cost money. So I'd say in general that's pretty much all the major clearing I'll do for this for now. Like I said before, I want to keep all of these hardwood trees until I really know where I'm putting building, and that's something I have to talk with the building inspector about, how close I can get it to the boundary line without needing zoning, or if I do need zoning, if it's something that I could do so that I could have the building set back further. So the next steps now will be hopefully getting my electrical feed to my house raised so I can get trucks up here easier. And then cutting in a gravel path all the way up here, and then finishing the rest of this backyard area so that it can be set up with sprinklers and loam and grass. And then I can focus on improving this area. But for now, if I just work on grading this out and getting it to a somewhat drivable surface, then I can of course store items up here, because ideally I want to take everything that's in this little valley here that I had to temporarily move over. I want to get all that stuff up here, but first I just have to get this graded and all those items out of here. So it'll be a combination of things. Alright, hopefully I get some time to start cutting in that path and finishing up the rest of the yard.